What is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Rose, aka Jonathan. Considering that everyone that comes on this podcast like still calls me Rose, like they don't call me Jonathan or anything. So like,
yeah, I don't think
like
a single person's ever called you Jonathan.
Yeah, no. See, even when Caleb says it, it's weird. I don't like it. Like if he ever calls me Jonathan or John or anything like that, I know something's wrong.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
Like the closest I get is calling you Johnny Rose.
Yep.
But even
that
then,
better be the closest you ever get.
I know. The only time I ever the only time I ever even say that is extremely rare. Like
it's true.
Yeah, that's like when I'm talking to like a complete stranger. I'm like, "Oh, my buddy Johnny Rose."
Yeah. So if you ever hear Caleb refer to me as Jonathan, just know that he's being held against his will, and
yep.
But yeah. So
anyway, we got a new intro.
Do
yeah. So we are on we're missing something. We're whatever.
I was gonna say he already fucked it up.
I know. I jacked
sorry.
it up real bad.
Mean. That was mean. I'm sorry.
I'm adding some stuff. I don't like.
God damn it, Caleb.
I know. We are a couple bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
A little bit better.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's like once you start like reading it, like we always need to do. I feel like we need to do a dry run on these occasionally because.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our new intro for those of you wondering if you're new to this podcast.
if you were really worried about when we were going to come up with a new intro, don't worry. Your problem has been solved, faith has been restored, and you can go back to living your normal life.
Yeah, we started, we got online to start recording at like 8:10-ish, and now it's 9:30, so it took us about an hour and a half to figure our shit out.
Yup.
Oh, anyway, this week on the podcast, we have absolutely nothing to talk about other than our breakdown of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So, with that, I guess you want to get straight into it?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know why I paused, sorry.
Every day, we're surrounded by media. Books, movies, art, music, games, apps, podcasts, etc., etc. With this constant bombardment, it's easy to miss great media gems in the chaos. But fret not, you've come to the right place, my friend. I'm Jason, and I love media. I invite you to check out the Mixed Media Forest podcast, the podcast where I trudge through the forests of media to find hidden gems for you, the listener. Every episode of Mixed Media Forest is chock full of fun, reviews, nostalgia, positivity, news, rants, stories, and recommendations about all things media. Again, that's the Mixed Media Forest podcast, created on Anchor Podcasting app and available everywhere fine podcasts can be found. Give it a listen. It's what all the cool kids are doing.
Alrighty. Like I said, we're getting straight into our breakdown. So, if you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we score. Wait, shit. I'm freaking killing it today.
Good Lord.
I know. I'm typing something out, and it's like, just screw it. Like, I can't type and talk at the same time. All right. Rewind. We've split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to oh my gosh, today's going to be a struggle, dude. To come to a final All Bros.
Buckle in, folks.
Yeah, no joke. A final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal grade at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up in our algorithm and spit out a letter grade for us to compare this movie to others. So, with that, if you have not seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, you do not want to spoil this for yourselves. So go check this movie out. We have friends from the Inner Circle Podcast Network. Shout out to you guys that actually worked on this movie. So go show your support. But anyway, Rose is about to spoil the entire freaking thing for you if you have not seen it. This is your warning, and if you listen past this point and the movie gets spoiled for you, it's your own fault.
Yeah. Alright. Hollywood actor Nicolas Cage is struggling with his career after being passed over for several major film roles and is constantly pestered and tormented by Nikki, who appears to him as his younger and more successful self. His relationship with his ex-wife Olivia and daughter Addie is also marred by years of emotional neglect. Following an embarrassing and humiliating event at Addie's birthday party and losing a key film role, Cage plans to retire from acting. He decides to accept a vague offer of $1 million from his agent Richard Fink that involves going to Morocco. Not Morocco. Oh my god. Do you know how to pronounce that?
I can't even see what you're talking about.
Oh, I thought you had it pulled up, you bastard.
No, I don't. One sec.
I'm just kidding.
Let me get there.
I mean, I could spell it out for you if you want me to.
Hold up. That I do not know how to pronounce.
Majorca?
Majorca?
It's probably Majorca. Yeah, that's it. Majorca. Wow, Jonathan. Involves going to Majorca to meet billionaire playboy. It's Javi, right? That's how you pronounce his name? Javi Gutierrez, and to be the guest of honor. Gutierrez, thank you. And to be the guests of honor at his birthday. Upon meeting Javi, Cage is initially annoyed by his neediness and insistence that they create an improvisational movie based on a script he wrote, but is soon inspired by Javi's determination, and the two of them quickly bond over their surprisingly shared love of films, such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and God damn it, Caligari. Yeah, I should have known. Yeah, because the daughter calls it calamari. So yeah, that was pretty funny. And Paddington 2, the latter of which Cage watches for the first time with Javi. Okay, can we? I just have to talk about because they don't mention the scene, but the funniest scene to me in this movie, because I was laughing my ass off when Ike Barinholtz and Tiffany Haddish are like talking about like when she first sees Nicolas Cage, and when she takes it, because she goes and takes a selfie with him while she's in the lobby with him, and they're like talking about some of the movies that he's in, and she's just like, oh yeah, I watched like The Croods 2 with my nephew a couple weeks ago. He really loved it, and you know, yada yada yada. And she asks like Ike Barinholtz, she's just like, have you seen The Croods 2? He's just like, I'm 44 years old. Why the fuck would I watch The Croods 2?
Hey,
I don't know why that
made me laugh. I loved The Croods too.
I did too, but I don't know why that made me laugh so freaking hard. That probably was my favorite joke in the whole movie.
Dude, they have a lot of gems in this.
They really did. I love how we're not even 5 minutes in, and I've already said the F word twice. I think that's a new record for me. So they watch. So they. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, here we go. Both Caleb and I are really killing this episode. Upon meeting Javi, Cage is initially annoyed by his neediness and insistence that they create an improvisational movie based on a script he wrote, but is soon inspired by Javi's determination, and the two of them quickly bond over their surprisingly shared love of films such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Paddington 2, the latter of which Cage watches for the first time with Javi. Soon after, Cage is confronted by CIA agents Vivian and Martin, who I just mentioned being Ike Barinholtz and Tiffany Haddish. They suspect that Javi, who they claim made his fortune through arms dealing, is behind the kidnapping of Maria, the daughter of a Catalan anti-crime politician, with the hope that he will drop out of an upcoming election.
This is our favorite segment, just so you know, Reading with Rose.
Yeah, Reading with Rose. Despite his insistence otherwise, Cage decides to help the CIA with the mission. After successfully rigging the cameras in Javi's compound, Cage attends a party where he announces his collaboration with Javi on a new movie as an excuse to stay on the compound long enough to find Maria. After a misadventure involving LSD, Cage discovers that Javi keeps a shrine room dedicated to all of his movies, including a wax figure of his character, Castor Troy, from the film Face Off, complete with identical golden guns. Cage finds it difficult to betray Javi, but Vivian convinces him to work the kidnapping into their script so that he could potentially reveal where Maria is. Cage explains his new idea to Javi, who believes that Cage is creatively bankrupt and possibly has issues that he needs to work out. Javi brings Olivia and Addie to his villa from Los Angeles, where they are frightened and angered over what is happening. Cage tries to make amends with them, but they reject his appeal and accuse him of prioritizing his film career over his family. Javi privately goes to meet with his cousin Lucas, who is revealed to be the true arms dealer and the one who kidnapped Maria. Lucas warns him that Cage is working with the CIA and pressures him to kill Cage, or else Lucas will kill Javi. Cage begins to rethink his friendship. Cage and Javi have a standoff with each other, but neither can bring themselves to kill the other. Lucas sends his men after both of them, and they race back to the house to discover that Addie has been kidnapped. Cage takes Javi, Olivia, and Javi's assistant, Gabriella, to the CIA safe house, only for the house to have been compromised. Martin has been killed, while Vivian sacrifices herself to kill Lucas's men before they can ambush the group. With Javi's help, Cage and Olivia pose as a reclusive criminal couple to get close to Lucas. They manage to locate Addie and Maria, but are found out. However, Cage, Addie, Maria, and Olivia escape, while Javi and Gabrielle stay behind to distract Lucas. Cage, Addie, and Olivia and Maria race to the American embassy with Lucas still in pursuit. Upon arrival, Lucas holds Cage at gunpoint, but Addie tosses him a knife which Cage uses to kill him, transitioning into the movie that Cage and Javi completed, presumably based on their adventure. Cage is applauded for his new film and congratulates Javi before going home with his family to watch Paddington 2, now with a better relationship. That, tripped me the hell out when it, switched to... I'm like, wait, what the hell just happened?
Dude,
which is real.
No freaking joke. When they made that switch and, the fake Addie comes, running to, Nick, I was just like, wait, who the hell? Who the hell is
and
that?
And also, yeah.
And then you see fake Olivia running, and it's Demi Moore. I'm just like, wait, who the shit are these people? And I'm like, I'm like, dude, they freaking screwed the pooch on freaking everything. I'm like, they're using different Jeeps, different locations. They freaking messed up bad. And then it pulled out into so you could see that it was the movie, and I was just like, oh, damn.
They got me. They bamboozled me.
No joke, dude. They bamboozled me hard. I was just like,
the fact that freaking when the fake daughter's running to her and she's just like, Daddy, I'm like, oh, okay, no, his daughter would not be saying that to him right now.
Yeah, dude. For whatever reason, I thought when when the movie version ran up to him, I was just like, wait, why is the other kidnapped girl running up to him? And then I it took me a second to realize oh wait, that's not her. And then like freaking Demi Moore, and like I caught myself being like, wait, where'd she come from?
What is going on?
What's happening?
Everything I know is a lie.
Dude, it was freaking weird.
It was, but cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. This movie is trippy as hell.
It is, because like freaking when Javi and what's her name stay behind, Gabriella, I'm just like, F, he's gonna die, isn't he? He's gonna die, and then when he gets shot, I'm like, F, fuck. But then it just turned out, that's how the movie was played out.
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
Oh man, dude, So just starting off with story, because that's what we're scoring right now. This story was intriguing as hell from beginning to end.
Yeah, it really was. I love how they say like, oh, Nicolas Cage plays a fictionalized version of himself.
Dude,
right?
This could have happened to Nicolas Cage. Like, if you were to say based off a true story, I would have totally believed it.
Oh yes, yeah. At least like the beginning with Nicolas Cage. Yeah, that's honestly, I could have expected it. I'm like, yeah, I could have believed that, because freaking when he's talking to freaking David Gordon Green about a role, I'm like, no freaking way, because like when he came into screen, I'm just like, can we just have it to where if they really wanted to piss off fans in Halloween Ends, when Michael Myers is unmasked, it turns out it's Nicolas Cage.
Holy shit, that'd be hilarious.
It'd piss off so many people. But
so
it'd be
who? I'm not familiar with David Gordon Green. Who is that?
So he's so I don't know what else he's directed, but he is the director of all of the Blumhouse Halloween movies. So Halloween, Halloween Kills, and then the upcoming Halloween Ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so I didn't catch that. That's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Like it's interesting that they pulled in like a lot of like actual. Well, I guess they didn't when you really think about it. I was going to say like actual people, but I mean the only real one would have been him, right? Like I don't think they pulled in any other people to play themselves.
Yeah, because Neil Patrick Harris wasn't playing himself.
Yeah, that because he was like the first one that came to mind. But I'm like, oh wait, he's playing his agent. He's not playing Neil Patrick Harris.
You haven't seen any of the Harold and Kumar movies, have you?
No, I have not.
God. So Neil Patrick Harris plays himself in those. I would have loved if he could take the way that he plays himself in that and transition it into this movie. That would have been freaking hilarious.
Oh man, dude!
If you want some good stoner movies, I recommend those.
Yeah, dude, this was a freaking good stoner movie.
It was
like for a way. Like I loved that how meta this movie got when they were on freaking acid. And they're talking about, oh, like what if it's just this, our relationship and how it starts and like I'm like, dude, what? And and that's kind of something that pissed me off at the end when it turned out to like be a movie. It pissed me off because I called it from that point, like from when they started talking about like the meta part of this movie and how they're like, oh, what if it's a movie about this, blah blah blah. I'm like, they're gonna end this and it's gonna be like pull out and it's gonna be like the screen of the movie like ending and all that fun shit. And I was absolutely right, but I still got fooled.
Dude, and this goes with like acting, but freaking, I want to see Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal in another movie together. I freaking loved these two together.
Oh my gosh, and with their chemistry alone, dude, like so freaking good.
So yeah, so great. Dude, especially freaking the whole like when they're trying to escape from the two people that they think are watching them, and them going over the freaking wall. And literally Pedro Pascal just being like, no, just let me go. Go live your life. Because he can't pull his ass up.
Man,
over this.
dude, I wish they didn't spoil that in the trailers.
See, I don't even remember any of the trailers. Like, literally nothing. So I literally went into this movie with like a fresh eyes, and I'm so happy I did.
Dude, freaking lucky. I was so bummed out. Like when that scene was happening, it was hilarious. But it's also I went into it knowing that was going to happen.
Yeah,
and so
it sucks,
yeah,
man. That's such a great joke.
I need to learn to restrain myself with movies and trailers because I overdo it.
Dude, you and me both. Dude, same here. Because, yeah, whenever they, like, post, like, a new TV spot for it, like, coming out, like, if it's, like, a week or two away, I'm like, I don't, yeah, you know what, I'm going to watch it. And then it, just keeps giving away scenes.
I'm such a TV spot whore.
Same.
Like, I always, like, give myself that talk, like, you don't need to watch that. You don't need to watch that. And then as soon as it comes out, I'm like, give it to me. But yeah, I'm bummed out that joke was spoiled for me because it was like perfect, and we'll be talking about all that stuff when it comes to writing. But the story overall was fairly good. I think the only part that like didn't really work out for me is when they were having the talk with his family.
That's fair. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of the whole like drug lord kind of thing. Like that whole part of the story I could have done without. I get it, they had to have it to, actually make a comprehensive story and tie this all together. But I don't know. I could have done without it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny enough. It's what they talked about. Like you kind of have something. You kind of need something to drive the plot in a character-driven movie like this.
Yeah,
and yeah, which is so funny to think about. Like you just kind of get all these like hints as to how the movie or the issues that they had with the movie, like based on how like it went. It basically spoiled itself for you.
It seriously did.
But yeah, other than like the discussion with the family, I think the pacing was really good.
Yeah, especially at the beginning. The first like 30 minutes are no. Never mind, I lied. I was gonna say, oh yeah, that's my favorite part, but no, like literally as Pascal and Cage's relationship just goes on, it gets better. So I can't say that.
Yeah. I'll say this too. The only thing at the beginning that really didn't work for me was when he went to the birthday party. I felt very odd.
I think that was kind of the point. The fact that like, oh, he shows up late, and then he even takes a phone call for work as his ex-wife walks in. She's like, unbelievable. Are you freaking kidding me? And then of course, he's drunk at that point because he doesn't get the gig, so he drinks a bunch, and then he basically crashes the party while performing a song that he wrote for his daughter over the years that he wanted to play when she was 16. So I think it was supposed to be awkward.
That's fair. I'll give you that. But yeah, really, really loved that. Like, it loved everything. Everything else. That, like, just that scene didn't necessarily work for me. And then the scene with the family when they were in Spain.
Yeah, they were all just sitting at the table.
Yeah, that didn't necessarily work for me either. Everything else with the family, I think they did pretty well with, and keeping the flow going. It's just those two scenes is where it kind of slowed down a bit, where I think there was a little struggle.
I can get that.
But yeah, the rest of the story, I had close to no problems with.
Speaking of what like goes on in the movie, when Pedro Pascal, or oh my god, I should probably start calling him by his name, Javi, asks Nicolas Cage, what is your favorite movie? Have you ever thought of that? Do you actually have a favorite movie of all time? Like, nothing could, like, honestly ever replace it.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Like, I wouldn't say it's an impossible thing to answer, like Nicolas Cage did.
Yeah.
Like, I have go-to movies for different situations and circumstances. Like when like the
Like what
movie that I
Nicolas Cage
choose
talks about.
yeah, like the movie that I go to when I'm sick versus the one that I go to when I'm just like in like a decent mood are two wildly different movies.
Okay.
But for movies that I can just sit down and enjoy the hell out of, jeez, that one's hard.
Really is.
Honestly, I think it has to be The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I loved that movie.
Okay.
It's just, it's so good. And like, I love, like, I think I've talked about this before, like going in and listening to different shows and perspectives about that movie and being able to go and rewatch that movie through that filter. It's kind of like The Matrix. Or at least how
Alright.
DJ was explaining The Matrix to us. Like, you can go in, like, beforehand and be like, okay, I'm going to watch it through this filter, where watching it like it's a like religious movie or whatever. It's kind of like that, but it's just like with Buster Scruggs, and I love that movie. I rewatched it recently, and I got just enthralled by it again.
Okay, I love it.
I
love that.
After that, it's probably Endgame, because I still haven't watched that movie without crying.
I mean, same.
And then, funny enough, probably The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
I've never seen that.
That's a great movie.
That's what I've heard. I really need to sit down and watch it, because that's with Brad Pitt, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Dude, it is
it
is weird, but I loved it.
So, weird, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good.
What about you? Where do you have like a favorite or?
You know, it honestly has been my favorite since I started like getting into the franchise in junior high. Because when the video game, okay, favorite movie, it's never going to change. Like, honestly, I don't think I ever will when I get older. It's the original Ghostbusters. I could watch that movie a million times and never get bored of it. Just the comedy, the actor, the four Ghostbusters, the special effects that hold up. It's just, to me, it's a perfect movie. It has everything that I'd want in a movie. And ever since the time that I got into Ghostbusters, which was in junior high when the video game was coming out, that's when I really started getting interested in it. Yeah, like honestly, it's been my favorite movie since I was in junior high. I don't know about 2 and 3. That's like really hard.
Yeah, it can get really tough because it's just like that's when it starts getting into like the different situations.
You know what? Actually, I don't know if I put it at 2 or 3. I just love this movie so I could like I honestly go to it whenever I'm like in a sad mood. I guess sad. I don't know. Would you link your sad and depressed moods into the same, or would you say that those are two different moods?
Nah, they're kind of the same.
Okay.
At least to me.
Okay, no, that's fair. So say like, you know, like I'm depressed / sad, or I'm happy, you know, anything like that. This is like a movie that I can go to for like all of it. The Edge of 17.
That's a good one.
I just love that movie. So I don't know if I would put that at 2 or 3. Actually, that might be number. We're gonna say 3. And then I don't know what my number 2 would be. I might maybe the first Avengers, just for how like monumental that movie was, and just how special it is. Like no, like I know Avengers Endgame was a cinematic moment, but seeing the original 6 Avengers assemble for the first time and the way they were able to pull it off, I'm still in awe every single time I watch that movie.
Yeah, that's a great one.
So,
anyway, getting back into Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
hey, it was relevant to
No,
it.
it was.
Oh.
I think it's a super difficult question to answer if you're big into movies. If you're not like super like into movies, I think it's like a pretty easy question. Like, oh, it's this one. But if you're like really into cinema, I think that question can get really difficult because like us, it's just, well, depending on what mood I'm in, kind of dictates what I'm going to watch. Like, I don't always want to watch my favorite movie of all time, but like for me, if when I'm sick, I get into like a real like clingy, like lovey-dovey mood, so all I want to watch are like rom-coms.
Love it.
Like, and I know I've said this before, and like whatever, like I don't give a shit. Whenever I'm sick, like if I'm like really sick, like I'm down, like stuck in bed sick, the only movie that I want to watch is The Notebook. And I can watch that and just like at the every single time. Like that's another one. Like I watched it the first couple times when I was like super sick, and didn't really feel anything. Then I got married, and then it just hits different. So yeah, I love, like, it's just, for me, there's nothing that quite brings out that level of feeling out, like nothing that brings that out of me like movies do.
I agree.
But so yeah, by getting back into this movie, I had a much better time with this than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I agree. Like, like, I don't know, like, considering that I forgot most of the trailers, literally, I came into this movie just being like, oh, hey, it's Nick Cage playing Nick Cage with Tiffany Haddish and Pedro Pascal. I don't even know where this movie's gonna go, and I really enjoyed where it went.
Yeah, it does a really good job, and I don't know if this is like intentional or anything. It kind of makes me want to go and rewatch Face Off and Con Air.
I've never seen Face Off, so I really want to watch Face Off now.
Face Off is good.
That's what John
I really
Travolta,
liked.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think recently, Nicolas Cage did a Ask Me Anything deal on Reddit, and someone wrote in and said, "Mr. Travolta, like, how has your career changed since swapping faces with Nicolas Cage?" And I think he answered the question like any other question. He's just like, "Oh, it's been great."
Oh, okay. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. But like great movie if you ever get the chance to watch it.
Is it on any streaming, do you
know? That I don't know. Same thing with Con Air. I don't know if Con Air is on streaming either. And I don't know if I've ever fully watched that one. I might have. Anyway, what was I getting at? Yeah, getting back into the story, I had a great time with it. Like a really good time. Kept me engaged. It was interesting as all hell. It had like the issues that, like, it's kind of funny that they were discussing this, like when they were shooting and talking about like, oh, like adding the kidnapping to the script and the issues that Pedro Pascal was bringing up and being like, oh, so you're just going to turn it into a blockbuster? And it's like, yeah, well, we need something to draw people in, and he was getting irritated with that, and it's just like, I wonder if that's like an issue they had with making this movie. Like, did they need to throw in that actiony blockbuster shit so they could have a trailer moment? Like, what was the deal with that? Like, it's just, it brought up interesting questions for me.
It's always funny when the term trailer moment to me, just because, like, thinking back of, like, shots that were only in the trailer, like, especially in Avengers Infinity War, that group shot of all them all them running in Wakanda, and, you know, the Hulk actually being Hulk. Sorry, man.
I know, I told you not to get me started.
It's my job.
Anyway, I thought the story was really well done. It made sense to a certain point, and it's the only point that where it stopped making sense was freaking Nick Cage being in like the hero of the story.
Fair. I mean, yeah, but Nick Cage is a freaking legend.
I know.
He deserves it.
Is. He totally is. But still, I don't think in a real world scenario he would have done any of that.
I mean, you never know.
I know. Like, I'm like, is he crazy enough? Like, just crazy enough to pull that off?
He listens to this. I'll show them.
Yeah, I know, right? That'd be scary.
Just you wait and see.
Jeez. Honestly, setting my own personal bias aside, which I always try to do when scoring, I think if I was like being biased at all, I would probably be in like the high 80s. But getting rid of that stuff, I think I'm in the 90s.
I'm still in the high 80s. That's me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be at like a 92. I think it was just really well done, and the issues that I had were so small. But yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm just going to go slightly below you. I'm going to go an 89.
All right, well, that averages out to a 90.5. All right, next up, we got writing. This was really well written.
Yeah, like, whoever wrote this screenplay, script, everything, yeah, y'all know how to write some jokes. Some really good jokes.
Yeah, well, it was written by the director with help from another guy that used to write for David Letterman.
Okay, yeah, that explains why it's so funny.
Yeah, so I think they did a tremendous job with this. Like, there was no dialogue that I felt was awkward, which is says a lot considering that there was a young teenager in this. I think she was a young teenager. Was she 16? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so considering there was a young teen in here and pulling the whole like, oh, I'm embarrassed by dad trope, it didn't feel awkward at all. Like, there was nothing about this that felt awkward.
I was impressed that it did not come across as annoying. Like, you completely understood where she was coming from.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I thought maybe with that, Nicolas Cage was going to come off as like awkward or annoying. But I think part of that can be contributed to his acting ability. And just being able to pull shit like that off.
Fair.
I think the jokes were really well written.
Like I said earlier,
honestly, my favorite bit of writing. What?
Like I said, that Crude's 2 joke.
Oh yeah. A couple of my favorite moments, or just like the dialogue, was when they were on LSD. And they were talking about the movie, and like they're talking about like a paranoid thriller, and they're like those guys, like they're watching us or something like that. And then freaking Javi's like, "Yo, are they watching us?" And he's like, "I don't know, are they?" And he like looks over, and they look at him, and he's like, oh my gosh, they're looking at us." Like, just like I said, just an absurd situation, but it's so funny. It is so freaking funny. So that scene was one of my favorites, and my second favorite was when they went into Javi's basically shrine of Nicolas Cage, and he like looks at that statue, and he's like, "It's grotesque. Like, I'll give you $20,000 for it."
How much did he pay? Like $6,000 for it?
Yep. Oh, but I love that he had, like, it kind of brought like the real world into it a little bit, where the pillow with the I don't know, like a mermaid pillow, where you can like swipe
where, like,
it and it shows a picture
when you swipe. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like, "This is haunting," and then like covers over it, and then Javi's in the back, and he like fixes it so you can see Nicolas Cage's face again. Dude, I thought that was so funny. This is something that I wish our buddy from Failing Hollywood would have joined us today. Like, I just didn't hear back, and I didn't want to be like a bother, because he was saying that he was working on some stuff, and he's like, I might not be available and or whatever, and so I didn't want to be a bother and like hit him up again. But I wish that he was on here just to tell us whether or not he had anything to do with that shrine room.
Yeah, that would have been so cool if he did.
Oh my gosh, that I would have loved to listen it, or just to hear about that stuff. I might hit him up later and just be like, "Yo, could you answer a couple questions?" I know we need, like, if we have time after, we'll maybe come up with a couple questions that I can send him and be like, "Hey." Oh, but
I will fully admit the way that Javi was, like, like fixing everything after Cage touched it. Yeah, I'd be that way if like anyone was like touching my John Wayne Gacy collection.
Yeah, no
like,
joke.
Nope,
it's
turning
like,
that a little to.
You don't mess with a man's collection.
Yep. No, you do not.
Oh. Yeah. So where are you at with writing?
I'm honestly higher than the story with writing, so I would actually give writing the same score that you gave story. 92.
I'm with you. I'm a little bit higher. I think the only writing issues that I had were stuff with the CIA agents.
See, I actually really liked all their writing.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know. I loved all the jokes from Barinholtz and Haddish, and just, yeah, I really liked their writing, actually. Barinholtz was written like an asshole, and I loved it.
Yeah. So I'm not going too much higher than my story. I think it was definitely better than the story overall. But yeah, I think I'm just going maybe one above, so I'm sitting at a 93.
Nice.
Which will average us out to a 92.5 for writing. All right, next up we got acting. So the main duo for this are Nicolas Cage, who played himself, and a younger version of himself that was credited as Nicholas Coppola.
I love it.
And then Pedro Pascal, who played Javi Gutierrez. So those are the main two. Some of the side characters include Tiffany Haddish, who played Vivian, a CIA agent. Sharon Horgan, who played Olivia, who was Nick Cage's ex-wife. Paco Leon, who played Lucas Gutierrez, who was Javi's cousin. And then Lily Sheen, who played Addie Cage, who's is Nicolas Cage's daughter. Then everyone else was kind of side character. Yeah. Like, any others that you'd include? Like, I know I missed Neil Patrick Harris and
Did you mention Ike
Gabriella.
Barinholtz?
No, because I didn't feel like he had too much to do other than, like...
That's fair.
I think he was only in, like, 3 scenes, and then he was dead.
True. So yeah, I would definitely group him in with the group with like Neil Patrick Harris and stuff and such.
Yeah, they're kind of like the third wave.
Yeah, there we go.
Like, I'd say top billing was Cage and Pascal. Then, like, our second tier would be Vivian, Olivia, Lucas, and Addie. And then, like, third tier would be Neil Patrick and all those other extras.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
All right, let's go top 3 with this one.
Okay.
I mean, I assume, like, our top 2s are going to be either
identical,
the exact same or, like, close to.
Just flip-flopped. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel they're either the same or they're just flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, number 3 would definitely be Tiffany Haddish. I feel it's hard not to love this woman in anything she's in. She's amazing. She's hilarious, and she once again brought her acting chops and comedic chops to this not side role, but supporting role that she was given. But she makes it her own, and I really enjoyed her performance. Number 2, I would actually give to Nicolas Cage.
Ah, dude, our top 3 is exactly the same.
I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong, Nicolas Cage is freaking amazing in this. He is so good playing himself. Yeah, he's fantastic. But I'm sorry, he is beat out by Pedro Pascal for number 1 because, oh my god, I loved this man in this movie. He was just, oh my god, he was freaking hilarious. The way that he was like fanboying over Nicolas Cage, just it was so great, so funny, and I freaking loved his character. Loved it.
Dude, like, you almost forget that he's like, I don't know, like, I don't feel like this happens to me very often, but like, I almost forget that he's acting, and he's just like, the way that he's fanboying over Nicolas Cage. It's kind of like how any of us would act around our favorite actors.
It's true,
and he pulls that off so well.
He really does. I mean, hell, I will fully admit I would be geeking over Nicolas Cage for how much I love the 2 National Treasure movies.
Yeah. So, gosh, that I don't feel like that happens very often, where we have like the exact same top 3.
No, that's
like there's usually
awesome.
like a flip flop or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of all of the extras, Tiffany Haddish was definitely the better. I'd say a close number 4 would be Sharon Horgan, who played Olivia, the ex-wife.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel I actually might tie her and the daughter for 4th.
Yeah, that's about right. Like, I started thinking about that as soon as I said it. I'm like, actually, like, like, kind of,
they're both
they
good
flip-flop.
performances.
It's coin flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, I think the weakest link for this was the bad guy, Lucas.
Yeah, it really was. Just a generic bad guy that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah. Slightly over the top acting. It's just,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about in regards to freaking Nicolas Cage. Like, someone out overdid Nicolas Cage.
And
it
after,
didn't work out.
not the beast scene, I feel that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Overall, I did really enjoy everyone's performance. No one freaking came close to Nicolas Cage or Pedro Pascal in this. But
See,
all
I
the
want to
extras,
see another movie with those two together.
yeah.
I really do.
But I think
chemistry.
everyone just kind of everyone else was just a little basic.
I can agree with that.
So with that, I think I'm going to be in the high 80s. Just because.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think the Pedro and Cage for like alone, I think would be in the mid 90s, and the extras would be in the low 80s. So that's kind of why I'm going.
Yeah,
high
right
80s.
in the middle.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go maybe 89.
You know what? I'll match you with that.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, moving on over to character development. So this just kind of follows the story of Nicolas Cage, obviously.
Yes.
So I think it's just his development throughout.
It is, and honestly, I don't know. I feel it's a pretty decent character development. Like you see him start out with people telling him that he doesn't take like huge roles that will like really get his name out there. He mostly like sticks to like not smaller stuff, but like stuff that like gives him one paycheck after another. And so when he finally sees a chance, he takes it, but unfortunately doesn't get it. And so to him, this is like, why even try at this point? He feels that he's done a lot for his career. He's made the movies that he feels that he could actually make. He can't really go anywhere from there. So, he decides to retire from acting, but then events lead into that actually not happening. Him meeting Pedro Pascal's character, the storyline that happens with them, and just honestly, Pedro Pascal's character not reviving, but maybe I would say reviving his love for the movies and why he loves being an actor. And honestly, just leading up to the ending to where he actually helps his buddy make not only make the movie but star in the movie that he wrote.
We assume there could have been an actor change there.
That is true, but I do appreciate that in the end he decided to be in like a not student film, but a
like an indie.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he decided to be an indie film, which actually, I mean, Nicolas Cage is in a lot of indie films nowadays.
I feel he is.
Yeah. So, like, freaking, have you seen Maggie yet?
No.
'Cause I haven't. I've wanted to. I've heard it's amazing. I think wait, is it called Maggie?
I think there's one called Maggie, and then there's another one that I've heard of that he was in recently called Pig.
I think that's what I'm thinking of is Pig.
Thinking Pig?
Yeah.
Okay. I hear it's basically John Wick with a pig.
You know what? I'm cool with seeing Nicolas Cage step into a Keanu Reeves role. I'm down for that.
Yeah. It's interesting that you had such a high opinion of the character development, because I feel this is where the movie actually suffers a little bit.
I'm not saying it's great.
No,
but I
no,
feel
no.
for
Like,
the movie, it works. I feel I might have talked it up a little too much.
No. What because I'll say this: the issues that I had with the character development come from his issues with his family, or that he was having with his family, was coming from him basically choosing his work over them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where it was coming from. And then when he didn't get this like big blockbuster life-changing role or whatever, it like sent him down like a spiral of depression. And I will say that working with Javi really like helped his character kind of overcome, or not overcome, just more recognize some of those issues that he was having. But it's just, I don't think they did too well on talking about the growth, because like if you think about it, he's having that like that dinner together and he's saying like, hey, like, I know you guys wouldn't want to keep me from pursuing my creative dreams and whatever, and I wouldn't keep you from doing that. And for them, that's like, that's not the problem here. The problem is that that you choose work over family. Like, that's the problem. And then also just kind of like I think that like the other like side issue that they didn't really focus on too much was that his daughter Addie was trying to be someone other than what he imagined her to be. And so I think they addressed that really well, that he was fine with her like sharing like her interests and love and whatnot. Like at the end when they're talking about Paddington 2, but I think it was just a little counterintuitive for them to be like, oh, he chooses work over family, but then in the end he gets this big blockbuster movie. The only difference is he chooses to go to hang out with his family instead of going to like a Vanity Fair interview or whatever. So yeah. I mean, there's a little growth there, and then there's like a little bit of growth with his daughter, but you don't really see most of that. Because it's like, hey, we had this little moment of like, hey, I recognize what I'm doing is wrong or is hurting you. Like, you get that like tiny little moment, then it's like action, action, action. Boom, we're at a movie premiere, and then moment with the family in the living room, and like that's kind of it.
Yeah, you got a point.
So I mean, that's it doesn't bring it down too much, because I mean, I think they do enough where you can make that logical leap. Mm-hmm. It's just, I think that they should have focused on one over the other. Like, if the issue was that he was choosing work over family, I think he shouldn't. I think it would have been good for him to maybe recast himself in that situation.
Okay.
Like, I think that would have been pretty trippy if he like turned around, did the stab, and it was like someone else, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, that would have been super trippy.
Yeah, and then it would just be like Javi's the one that's like that he funded to help get this indie movie made and whatever. So like, I think that would have shown some real growth from him.
I would have freaking loved it if they. Have you seen any of the Austin Powers movies?
No, I've not been able to make it through any of them.
Just not a fan of them?
Just not a fan. It
No,
just
I get that.
It's way too over the top for me.
No, I get that. I mean, I've only seen Goldmember. I haven't seen the other two. I really need to sit down and watch them. But I love that at the end of Goldmember, when they're like honestly like watching the movie on the big screen, like it pulls out, and freaking Like, I love that Tom. What is it? Oh my God, who's playing? I straight up just forgot his name.
Is it Tom Cruise?
Yeah, thank you. Freaking yeah, Tom Cruise. I don't know how I forgot that.
Well,
But yeah,
you
freaking
almost
Tom
said
Cruise.
it. You
I
said
did.
Tom.
Well, I was about to say Tom Hanks, and I'm just like, no, it is
Oh.
not Tom Hanks that is
Nope.
playing.
Wrong one.
But just yeah, like you get like Tom Hanks playing, not Tom Hanks. God damn it,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise playing Austin Powers, and you get like all these celebrities, playing these different characters. So I think that would have been honestly funnier if they would have replaced Nicolas Cage with someone else that looks like him.
Yeah. So, I think that there was a slight missed opportunity there, just to show us some personal growth with him. Because with that, it's just like, okay, so he's still choosing his career.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, his career is still a priority to him, which is not a bad thing. It's just, with what we saw.
I mean, it's okay
from
if you're
this
single.
movie. Yeah. I mean, well, duh. But what I'm getting at is, like, with that being a major conflict in the movie, it would have been nice to see him move away from that and maybe take a more producer route than anything.
Agreed.
Which, funny enough, he frickin' produced this movie.
Yeah, I saw that. That's freaking hilarious.
So that's why it kind of drops down for me. Not a whole lot. Where are you at?
I'm in like I'm not like in like the mid 80s, so I'm gonna go in 85.
Okay, I'm slightly lower, so I'm at like the low 80s. So I think I'm gonna go with an 81.
All right.
Which will average us out to an 83.
Not bad.
All right, next up we got effects, which I think there's only like one major effect in this, which was the de-aged Nicolas Cage or Nicolas Coppola.
Yeah, Nicolas. I'm just gonna say young
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I'll say too. He did not look very good.
Fair, yeah. Yeah. I really don't have any positive to say, but
I mean, he looked good enough. Like if you had to pause the movie, he looks pretty decent. It's just something's off about him when he's in motion. Maybe it's just like they just squeezed his face in a little bit too much or something. It felt like his mouth was smaller. Or just like weirdly
all the better
shaped.
for kissing himself.
Oh my gosh, dude. That was so weird.
You're telling me you've never wanted to make out with yourself?
Absolutely never in my life have I thought about making out with myself.
Yeah, me neither. Who thinks about that?
Oh, man.
Look, all I'm saying is when you're lonely as fuck, your thoughts go places.
You know what? Fair enough. No.
And now I'm going to shut up.
Oh, man. Okay. Other than that, I guess, other than the not super great CGI Nicolas Cage or de-aged Nicolas Cage, everything else felt pretty decent.
Yeah, no, the explosions look good.
Yeah, all of that stuff looked good. The gunshots ended up looking pretty good.
Dude, freaking, I know this doesn't fall under effects, but freaking when they're like first on acid and they're driving in the car, Pedro Pascal deserves like a freaking award for the way he is able to do facial expressions. Because oh my god, the way how big his eyes were and his like smile, just oh my god, were just freaking amazing. I was laughing my ass off.
Dude, Pedro Pascal is hilarious.
he needs more work. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know he's good in The Mandalorian, but like, I want him to actually have like more actual like face stuff. Like, he actually gets to show his face.
Dude, have you seen his lie detector test on YouTube?
No, it sounds freaking hilarious.
It is absolutely hilarious. Like, one of the questions was like, hey, you frequently get called a daddy on social media and like on Twitter and Instagram. Like, do you consider yourself a daddy? And he's like, no, I don't. And then the person was like, that's a lie. And he's like, yeah, I absolutely do. And then he starts like, it is so freaking fun. I'll have to send you a link.
I find it so funny that literally it is impossible for anyone to say that word now without it being taken as sexually.
Yeah. It's not great. I think there's just a tone behind it too.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard adults refer to their fathers as like daddy. But and then like they've used that word towards like a significant other, and they're like, oh, and like there's just a different tone behind
like,
it.
Daddy.
Yeah, it's that. It's just like a little bit more drawl.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I don't know what it's either like an extended A or just like like how hard you hit the like those double D's in it. Yeah, I know.
You just had to say there
was no other way for me to explain that. Like, forget you.
God damn it. Oh shit.
Whatever, forget you. Anyway, all of the special effects looked really good. Anything that was done practically looked fairly decent. Cinematography overall, like I thought it was beautifully shot.
Yes, absolutely agree.
So I had close to no issues. I think the biggest thing to dock for is de-age Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. For some reason, based on like that Steelbook, I straight up thought that there was going to be like an abundance of like younger Nicolas Cages. I don't know why.
I know. I thought there was going to be more too. Like, I was like, oh, cool. Like, we get this de-aged, and then it was just like the same one.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's lame. Like, we couldn't get like a Con Air.
I don't know. I would have wanted a National Treasure, Nicolas Cage.
Well, I think they were going for like the primetime movie star Nicolas Cage, and so
yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
I think National Treasure is just kind of like a little bit past his time as like big blockbuster name. I know, like I disagree too, but we're also in our 20s.
That's true. God, imagine if they had him his Johnny Blaze.
Holy shit, dude. I would have lost my mind.
That would actually have been freaking cool. Like, dude, he's like freaking at the stoplight and literally hit Johnny Blaze just comes riding up on his motorcycle.
That would have been...
Yeah, I would have lost my shit.
That would have been cool. That would have been so cool.
That would have been awesome.
Oh. But yeah, not too much to dock for there. I think I'm still in the 80s. Maybe like the mid. Like where what are you thinking?
I'm at like I'm gonna go one above my character development. I'm gonna go an 86.
That's actually exactly where I was at too. So
hey, there we go.
All right, next up we got music.
Nothing special, honestly. Oh, honestly, I mean, don't get me wrong, the soundtrack worked for the movie. It did its job, but like I'm not remembering anything like standing out, not stand out.
Yeah, the only thing that's coming to mind, and that it's honestly just because I watched it earlier today, is the opera music that they had when they were kind of doing that face-off in the compound.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, that didn't. I mean, it, like you said, it did its job. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything too insane.
Yeah.
So, what are you
So
thinking?
I'm at like a 6.
6?
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at too.
Sweet.
Alrighty, moving on over to costumes. I think they had a really wide variety of outfits for Nicolas Cage here. Like they had the robes, like the swim trunks, like just his normal everyday clothes. I thought it was freaking hilarious that they threw Pedro Pascal into his Speedo.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Like they fit. So I think I'm a little higher than music.
Yeah, like a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
I was trying to think of a way to talk myself up to like an 8, but probably
Nothing
not.
nothing like really drove home an 8 for me.
Yeah. All right, so we got a 6 for music and a 7 for costumes. So last up, we got our own personal score. So you want to hit this one?
I would love to. So overall, like I said, I straight up forgot like all the marketing for this movie, which I was very happy I did because I literally walked into this movie blind, and this is one of the best blind buys that I've ever done. I had a blast with this movie. From start to finish, Nicolas Cage is amazing in this movie, and Pedro Pascal is right up there with him, even actually a little better when it comes to performances in this movie. But you could tell that these two had a great time working together. At least I think they did. I hope they did. I hope there wasn't any bantering behind the scenes, because I really want to see these two work together again. Yeah, like I said, I had a really good time with this movie. So, I'm going to go an 86.
That's not bad. Yeah, I agree with you. This was a really good time. I didn't know what to fully expect from this movie. I was expecting a lot more action than there was, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was just kind of more of an afterthought. Like, I know they threw in like a decent chunk near the end, but I thought there was going to be more throughout, and I'm kind of glad there wasn't. I really love character-driven movies, and this is exactly what that was. It was very character-driven. Like I stated, I had some issues with how they showed the development with Cage's character, but overall, I think they did a really, really good job. And honestly, like the writing is some of the funniest stuff that I've ever seen and heard. It's just the instances are just so absurd and strange that they can only come from a Nicolas Cage movie. So with that, I think I'm gonna go maybe just a tad higher than you. I think I'm gonna go to an 88.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that will average us out to an 87 for our personal score. Which, that concludes this week's breakdown. And the final Albro's letter grade for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent has come to a B.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's a very solid B. So it's sitting at an 85.375%.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if it went up a little bit higher. Like, if it would have been in the B+ range. But I think it's earned where it's at.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, sitting at an 85.375% puts it below the Sorcerer's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which is at an 85.43. It puts it below Candyman 2021, which was at an 85.56. It's below Cruella, which is at an 85.56 as well. Puts it below Onward, which is at an 85.67. And then finally puts it below Halloween Kills, which is at an 85.68.
Yeah, buddy.
But going the opposite direction, it puts it above The Lion King, the remake, which was at an 85.1.
Yeah, deserved.
Puts it above The Oath, which is at an 85%.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's also a Tiffany Haddish movie.
And Ike Barinholtz.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Puts it above The Matrix Resurrections, which is at an 84.7. Puts it above Christopher Robin, which was at an 84.56. And then finally puts it above Avengers Age of Ultron, which is at an 84.37.
Oh, that hurts.
Honestly, doesn't hurt that bad. At least not for me.
That does hurt for me because I love Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I mean, it's good and it's fun. It's just not my favorite Avengers movie.
Oh no, same here. But I still really enjoy it because it actually gives Hawkeye it actually gives Hawkeye character development. So
True that. But honestly, I think it has a pretty decent home.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any one that I disagree with, and I can't, at least of the ranking so far, and I can't think of a single thing. So
same here.
Yeah. Well done.
I'm sorry, I disagree with Age of Ultron, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean it's close. It's actually a 1% difference exactly.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean it's close, but like I said, it's a freaking percentage.
Yeah. Damn.
Anyway, so that will conclude this week's breakdown. We hoped you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed the movie if you decided to watch it because of what we said. And we hope you liked our new intro. Hopefully we can remember that that's there. But yeah, so that will conclude this week's breakdown. Next week we will be talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, which comes out this Friday, but I'm actually getting an early viewing to it tomorrow.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm seeing it at 3.
Oh, I hate you.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
I'm not going to be able to see it till Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, well.
That sucks. Well, you guys can look forward to that next week, and I'm just going to say it. Even if it doesn't happen, we will be joined by Vic. Because he is not missing this one. He missed the past, 3 MCU
I'm still
movies?
not over that I'm still not over that he missed No Way Home.
Dude, right? What kind of bullshit is that?
I feel because you've heard that they're doing the more fun version of No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I feel just so that can be on that one, we have to at least review, like, well, no, we can't really because I don't know how much they're
we can't
gonna add.
re-review it.
Damn it. Well, did he review it on his podcast?
No Way Home?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Damn it, Vic.
Yeah, so he freaking missed out on. Actually, like he hasn't been on an MCU one since Far From Home.
Holy shit!
Because he missed out on Black Widow, and that was our fault because we forgot to send out the invite.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on Shang-Chi, but wasn't able to make it, so he just sent in his scores. And the only reason I included him was because I needed the freaking tagline so like the logo made sense.
Yeah.
He missed out on Eternals, missed out on No Way Home.
Yeah, I'm still butthurt.
Oh wait, was it No Way Home? Yeah, he missed out on No Way Home.
He did give you his scores though.
Right. So
I remember that.
Wait, did he join us for Shang-Chi?
I think he was actually.
I'm gonna look real quick.
Okay.
Where the hell is my Shang-Chi artwork? Dude, why am I having such a hard... Okay, maybe he was on that one. Maybe he was on Shang-Chi. And then the Spider-Man No Way Home I included because he sent in his scores. And then he wasn't on for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so he better frickin' be on Thor: Love and Thunder.
Did you already ask him to?
Oh yeah, I told him. I sent him a message before we recorded. I'm like, hey, 7 days until our our Love and Thunder breakdown, and he started laughing. He's like, okay.
Be there, be square.
Yeah, so I'm sending him a reminder every single day. Because last time he freaking forgot. But yeah, we still have to go through and freaking score our
shit.
MCU.
I've been so bad
anyway,
about
that. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys can look forward to that next week. And until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm the one that doesn't skip over everything else.
What? Oh, shit! If you like this episode and want to hear more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen to us basically anywhere podcasts are available. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube, or you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The All Bros. Or you can email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com, and you can hit us up if you have an episode idea, want to answer our question of the week, or if you want to join us for an episode. Or you can go to our one-stop shop of a website, which is tinyurl.com/theallbros, where you can find links to everything that we do, including some merch that we offer. And I'm pretty sure that covers everything, right?
Yeah, you know what? I just need to learn to keep my fucking mouth shut. I should have just let him suffer.
I would if you would have waited until we stopped recording, I would have recorded it myself.
Oh, okay. Well, this way it's funnier, so.
Yeah. So, now, you guys can look forward to next week, and until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
Catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long. I can't do the freaking voice right now. I'm sorry.